Have you ever wondered what would happen to our world today if we still use the same method of communication that was used in the 1950s? We now live in a fast-paced generation where communication and information are available anytime and anywhere through different types of media. Any form of media has the goal of sending messages across a wide audience, and all of these media forms are getting faster and more efficient. However, which do you think suits your needs best? Let's figure it out in this study journey. My name is Sir Brex. Let's think, create, and share. In the last episode, we traced the evolution of media from generation to generation. We discussed how media were used during the prehistoric age, industrial age, electronic age, and information age. Let's have a short review. Prehistory is the period of human activity between the use of the first stone tools 3.3 million years ago and the invention of writing systems, the earliest of which appeared 5,300 years ago. About 2.5 million years before writing was developed, technology began with the earliest hominids who used stone tools, which they may have used to start fires, hunt, cut food, and bury their dead. The Industrial Age was a period of history that encompassed the changes in economic and social organization that began around 1760 in Great Britain and later in other countries, characterized chiefly by the replacement of hand tools with power-driven machines such as the power loom and the steam engine, and by the concentration of industry in large establishments. The Electronic Age saw the invention of the transistor, which ushered in the Electronic Age. People harnessed the power of the transistor that led to transistor communication, and communication became more efficient than ever before. The Digital Age or Information Age was a period in human history characterized by the shift from traditional industry that the Industrial Revolution brought through industrialization to an economy based on the computerization of information. The Internet paved the way for the advanced use of microelectronics with the invention of personal computers and wearable device technology. Moreover, voice, image, sounds, and data could now be digitalized. We need to consider and give emphasis from the prehistoric age into the digital age because of innovations from the simplest going to the complex invention. Today, the means of recording and sending knowledge has totally changed. From the primitive and simple way of writing it down by hand to the digital way it is now. It has transformed so much because of the need to cope with the realities of our 21st century lifestyle. In this exciting learning journey, we are going to discuss the different types of media that are widely used today and understand their predominance in every aspect of our life. Media is not just used to send information and communicate. We need to realize that it is something that influences and impacts our culture, beliefs, and even decision-making. The influence of media should not be taken lightly. As students and the next leaders of this country, we really need to pay close attention to what media is and its influence on society, as this will help us take control of media and its effects, rather than have media controlling us. So get ready to think wisely, create smartly, and share information responsibly. Before we dig deeper into the lesson, let us have an activity. I want you to take a second and reflect on the given scenarios. You are given 5 seconds to think of the best way to deliver a message to the following.
We have a follow-up requirement from our teacher Giselle in our MIL subject. How could I immediately contact Kurt to find out if he's already done with it?
So what do you think is the best way for the student to contact Kurt?
I think I will chat with him using Messenger so he can receive my message and immediately reply.
Awesome! The student will use the online platform to communicate with her classmate Kurt. How about the next scenario?
Teachers deserve to be given recognition because of their hardships in distributing the modules even to the most remote areas. How can I disseminate this information to everyone, especially to those who are in the most remote areas?
So what do you think is the best way for the reporter to disseminate the news about heroic teachers?
Yes! I will deliver this news over the radio or television to reach the far-flung areas.
Very good! The reporter will use broadcast media to deliver the information. How about the third scenario?
How will I deliver this news to a wide audience?
Very good! The man will deliver his news by printing it and distributing the hard copy to a wide audience. How about these individuals? How many different types of media are they exposed to on a daily basis? Let us find out as we discuss today's lesson. The fact that we commonly refer to the whole as media tells us that society sees media as being of many types. You are exposed daily to a broad range of types of media. Can you name the types of media you have already encountered? There are three types of media: print media, broadcast media, and new or online media. Each type is distinct from each other in many ways. However, all of them have one thing in common. Each type is a means to deliver a message to people. As media evolved from regular print to broadcasting to online media, its content has also progressed. Now, it has become a platform for introducing products and services, and even opinions. Media today is more than just plain information. It is also used to sell and convince you of something: products, services, and ideologies. Through advertisements, media can entice us to use and buy a product and to try a service. Ideologies are being sold too, using your favorite actress on TV or an online influencer. Content is the idea that is delivered to the audience in the form of still and moving images, audio, documents, and files. News and information were the highlights of print media in its early years. Over the years, though, it has expanded its content by adding advertisements and written entertainment. Speaking of print media, it is arguably the oldest type. It has evolved considerably and is driven by humanity's insatiable hunger for information. Since the invention of the Gutenberg printing press, print media evolved to include books, newspapers, and magazines. These are prevalent in most parts of the world today, despite the increasing popularity of internet-based media. Broadcast media such as radio and television broadcasting both have the same content as modern print media. However, radio is regarded more as a channel for music and radio dramas which stir the listener's imagination. Television, on the other hand, has the additional attribute and advantage of moving images, plus the audio, which is more entertaining. It can also foster emotion and empathy, reaching a wider target of audience. Thus, the presentation of content becomes more effective. These two evolved in leaps and bounds in the 20th century. These types do not rely on the production and distribution of physical copies as much as print media do, because they distribute their messages over the air through signal transmission. Additionally, because their programming can be viewed by a multitude of people at once, broadcast media like radio and television have been traditionally accepted as the most efficient way to transmit messages. Online media, as the name suggests, is another young and fast-growing type of media, which has come into being with the advent of modern technology. It is usually digital and internet-based. It is also interactive, where two-way communication is possible, which means that you can directly give feedback in the form of comments, likes, shares, tweets, among others. New media is changing the way people across the world, the way they are entertained, and the way they consume information. Online media or new media has 4 categories. These are interpersonal communication media, interactive play media, information search media, and collective participatory media. Interpersonal communication media refers to online media that are used to create and maintain personal relationships with our friends, families,
classmates, and teachers, among others. Messaging apps are examples of interpersonal communication media. Interactive play media refers to digital games. Digital games are noteworthy for how they build interaction and community, allowing massive numbers of people from all over the world to participate simultaneously. The information search media refers to online media that are used to store and retrieve information. Blogs and information search engines are some of its examples. Information is easily accessed and searched for, and everything is typically organized. Collective participatory media refers to online media that centers on creating, sharing, and exchanging information, ideas, and content in online networks and communities. It is highly interactive, and it is a form of new media that relies heavily on the participation of users to provide value. Social media platforms are all collective participatory media.
To recap, these are the three types of media: print media, broadcast media, and online or new media. On the other hand, the different types of media have traditionally carved out separate niches, usually based on their different features and strengths. However, over time, we have seen the lines between media types blurring due to the interconnections and merging of different media types. This is called media convergence.
Media convergence is the process where several media channels come together to exist, operate, and function in synergy.
For example, newspapers today no longer simply provide just print content, but they now have online portals,
providing links to other relevant resources, online access to their archives, and opportunities for users to comment on the story or provide links to relevant material. Radio and television broadcasts now stream online through social media, and comic books and novels are being adapted in movies and TV series.
What a great discussion indeed on the different types of media and media convergence. This time, let's compare and contrast how the given issue or news will be presented through print media, broadcast media, and online media.
Articles in the newspaper give more in-depth information than the online version. People can take their time in absorbing information than when they watch television. In 1998, newspapers and television were what people used to read and watch to update themselves about the real world.
In 2012, however, people started using television and newspapers less and less because of online media. Readers started abandoning newspapers when they were able to get their news online. It is also easier for people to be carrying around their laptops rather than newspapers because they can read anything concerning the news on their laptops. There are also online newspapers that provide video and sound clips that a normal newspaper can't provide. If one wants to listen to the radio, that person can also listen to online live radios.
This time, let's analyze even more how the three types of media deliver the news. No two news media report an event the same way. Every news story is shaped and limited by the technology used, the traditions of the medium itself, and the people. Think about ways a TV news story might differ from an internet news story or an article in a news magazine. Let's take a look at this comparison.
Television news has dramatic video and audio. It is usually short. It has little coverage of related information. Internet contain images, audio clips, and video clips. Information coverage is more in-depth and provides links to related information. Newspaper and magazine contain still images only. Information coverage is more in-depth and provides sources for further information.
Since you already have an idea on how to compare and contrast a particular piece of news using the three types of media,
I want you to give your analysis of how the presentation of a news item in the different types of media differ from each other using the given format.
But before doing that, here's an example of a chart analyzing a story of a soccer competition.
Magazine has more quotations from players and coaches. Interviews seem more thorough. It has more photos, has greater emotional impact.
And it gives a history of the event's past winners, past locations, etc.
While internet includes quotations, but they are shorter, fewer in number, and less in-depth. It has fewer photos, not as much emotional impact. And it doesn't provide history, but there is a link to an article on the history of the event. While television provides several interviews from the players, it has more dramatic video and audio. And there is little coverage of related information.
I know you can do it better than the example. I'm expecting to see your analysis of your chosen news using the 3 types of media on our official Facebook page at DepEd TV MIL and use the hashtag MIL Compare and Contrast.
Before we end this discussion, I want you to bear in mind that there are 3 types of media prevalent today.
All of them serve the purpose of transmitting messages. The evolution of each type of media has drastically taken over the world, from print to broadcast radio and television, and now online media.
Print media consists of paper publications. It can be in the form of books, newspapers, journals, magazines, and newsletters. Broadcast media describe the traditional forms of media that include television and radio. Broadcast media commonly come in 2 forms, radio and television broadcasting. Online media use the internet to send information. Media convergence refers to the phenomenon involving the interconnection and merging of information and communication technologies, computer networks, and media content.
We use different types of media to find out news, learn new things, and entertain ourselves. With advances in technology, we can choose the type of media we want to use, no matter the time or place. So, we can listen to the radio while driving to work. We can watch our favorite show on our phone, and we can find out any information and get the news on our laptop or mobile device, thanks to the internet. Who knows where technology can lead us in the future? That concludes our lesson for today. Next episode, let's navigate through the different sources of media and information. Always remember, think wisely, create smartly, and share information responsibly. My name is Sir Brex. Until next time here on DepEd TV.